Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Cailee and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss the contributions of Jerry Dalton to American whiskey. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Cailee, along with our special guests, Luke Otero, Cailee Baker, and Tim Swyat.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, guys.
Hey, hello, everybody.
Hey, so yes, we are going to have a good show today. We're going to be talking about Jerry Dalton, and hopefully you know who he is. If not, we're going to tell you all about him and some of the great things that he's done, and some big announcements, which will come after the break as well. So got some updates that are what's going on with Jerry, and really some fun stuff coming up here. But before we get to that, Tim said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, Tim?
So we are, the show's being released on December 5th, but we are well into this right now. With all the holiday music that's out there, is there one song that you consider like the most annoying thing that'll actually make you turn it off? Switch the channel.
I got one. Yeah.
All right, fire off.
I famously like Christmas music. There's really only one song that I can't stand, and that's "Mama Got Run Over by a Reindeer." I hate that song. I do. I don't like it.
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
I don't like that song at all. I don't. I just it's dumb to me, and I don't hear it as much these days. So maybe it's fine. There was for a while when you couldn't, like, I get in the car and I have the Christmas station on, so I turn it on. There's 2 that in St. Louis that do it, and all of a sudden it's playing "Grandma Got Run Over." I switched to the other one. I don't want to hear that. So
I would like to add to this and say it's a quick topic. So, what's your favorite Christmas movie or Christmas song?
Oh, I like
your least favorite and your favorite.
I like 12 Days of Christmas featuring Dinah Shore. I'm very consistent about that.
All right.
So my all-time favorite Christmas song. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Cailee just hijacked Tim's small talk.
That's how this thing goes. You start the ball rolling, Luke, and then you see
You
what
never
happens.
know. Then you never know what happens. Okay.
I don't give in, Tim. You gave in.
Yeah. Well, Cailee, we'll throw it to you. What's your least favorite and your favorite Christmas song?
I would say one of my least favorites, and not necessarily because I don't like the song or it's annoying to me, but because it makes me cry every time, is "Christmas Shoes." Like that.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, it makes me cry. But I love it. It's a beautiful song, but it makes me cry, so I try to change it every time it comes on.
Yeah.
But then one of my favorite, I'll give my top 2 favorite Christmas songs.
No, we're changing it again.
I can't choose.
By the end, it'll be the top 25.
I can't choose.
Top 25 songs.
All right, so it's either Christmas Vacation theme song or Christmas in Harlem by Kanye West.
No, Cailee.
No, we're gonna go with the Mavis Stapleton. She said we'll just beep out the other one. So
Yeah.
We'll catch that in editing.
Christmas Vacation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Luke, how about you? Least favorite and favorite Christmas song?
Least favorite is "Run, Run, Rudolph."
Run, Run, Rudolph.
That's fun.
Okay,
I like that one. Chuck Berry. Yeah.
I know, but in our area they just play it over and over, and it's okay the first maybe 2-3 days, but the rotation has got to be expanded.
That's a rotation problem, not a song problem. But okay, all right, fair enough.
And then "Old Holy Night."
Oh, Holy Night is your favorite. Oh, yeah. Holy Night. All right, yeah, that's good. McNew.
Thanks.
Oh gosh, there's big country stars here.
Exactly.
No, So there's actually no country in my list right now.
Cheer in my beer, the country Christmas classic.
Yes.
Wow, it's wonderful.
No, so I cannot stand "Wonderful Christmas Time" by Paul McCartney.
Oh,
Cannot.
I like that one.
Everything
He's
about
simply having a wonderful Christmas
I
time.
hate it. It just feels tedious.
Just
for
simply
Has any-
having.
Has anybody seen the meme that's like, this is actually a weird, like, witchy song,
Yeah,
and then it
like-
turns into a...
Yeah.
Because it's like, moon is up, spirits right, and then it's simply happy. So
Oh,
it's
God.
like, it's like somebody walked in and they were doing a witchy like ritual, and then they were like, "Oh no, we're just singing Christmas music."
Don't think we're going to invite Kaylee
It's
to
fine.
the ABV Network's holiday sing along.
Don't worry, you can come
Coming
hear
soon.
me kill
The
some
ABV
karaoke
Network,
every once in a while at Leatherwood.
Yeah, coming soon, the ABV Network Christmas album, sung
Yeah,
by your
that'd be
favorite
nice.
There you
personalities in
go.
the
There
ABV
you
Network.
go.
That would be good. That'd be good.
Starring
Well,
Kaylee Baker as the main singer.
all right, McNew, what is your favorite?
I have two favorites. So first
I'm
is "Silver Bells" as like a classic Christmas song. I love
Sure.
Silver Bells.
Silver
And
Bells.
Big Mariah fan. I love her. All I want for Christmas is you. Every
Okay.
time
All
it's on
right.
the video, it is up. I'm singing.
Okay.
I love Mariah.
That one's
that'd be
definitely
number 3 for
overplayed.
me.
It's overplayed. That's
It is.
but it's not a bad
It's not
song.
a bad
In
song.
its heart, it's not a bad song.
Yeah.
And yes, yeah. So a special place in my heart for that one. My
She has
mom sang that to
defrosted,
my
it's
dad
fun.
like the day before he died. She talked about that. I kind of like that one, even though
Yeah.
it's played a lot. But famous thing. But yes. So yeah. Tim, how about you, man?
Right, so I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail on this one, but the one that I hate the most that just drives me nuts is the 1877 Cars for Kids ad. Every holiday, that goddamn ad is on every commercial break, and you don't hear it anytime during the season. Really, it's barely out there. But from November 1st
That's
to
not really a
about July
Christmas
15th,
song.
I'm putting it as a Christmas song because it only comes out seasonally right
Okay,
now, trying to grab
okay.
my dollars for my car.
Okay.
That thing's on all the time. That they've twisted it up a
Christmas
little
song.
bit.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Christmas song, just like how Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
It's a
Okay.
Christmas song.
I'm bending the category.
Okay.
It's my small talk. I can say what I want.
Oh,
1877 Cars for Kids can stop playing right now. It's
And
annoying.
he can
and
allow
upsetting.
what additions he wants to.
That's right. Yes. Now for my favorite. I only have one favorite. I'm going with the rules since you twisted on me here.
Yeah.
I will say, now this one is sung by Sarah McLachlan because all of us hard rock fans, dudes, have a special place in our heart for Sarah McLachlan. She does a cover of Gordon Lightfoot's song "For a Winter's Night" that I could just put on repeat. I'll probably slip into some fine Christmas pajamas and my house slippers with a bottle of whiskey and just enjoy my evening with a campfire. It'd be beautiful. That'd be the favorite.
Yeah.
Every time I hear a Sarah song, I think of that commercial with all those.
The dogs.
Animals
The dog.
in the
Oh, no.
Yes,
No,
Oh.
that sounds like
Oh.
no, do you
So-
have a
so
Oh my
Tim, I'm
gosh.
sure you're
That's
right.
singing.
Do,
Ooh.
it. Do I get hired for it yet, Steve?
Oh
am
my
I?
gosh, it's brutal.
Do I have
Kaylee.
the job?
Thank God we're recording this.
Yeah.
There's a clip.
Wait, she's got a new segment. Is this Kaylee singing or fingernails on a chalkboard? Which is we'll have a contest.
Is this
coming up,
Cailee
so.
singing or cats fighting?
Hey, and if you enjoy my singing, every once in a while I can be caught at karaoke at Leatherwood Distillery,
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's where
ruining
you got-
everybody's night.
You have to drink enough where you think you're good. That's like when Bronner was maybe, and I recorded it and then showed him. He's like, "Oh my god, that's terrible." I'm removing it from my
No.
set. I'm like, Bronner, they're all that bad.
Yeah. Last time I did karaoke, I think I sang a song by Afro Man, so you could just imagine how that went.
I feel like that's hard to mess up. You probably did fine.
I did great. There's no doubt about it in my drunk mind.
All right. Well,
Nailed it.
guess what, gang? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with McNew. McNew, what do you got?
Have some Weller Antique.
Antique.
Ooh.
Yeah, not much there, McNew.
No.
Mike Muffle, maybe.
You gotta change
all
them on your
right.
mic or something.
Kaylee?
So I was just
No, she says.
I was literally I was singing myself a Christmas song, and I was looking for a bottle of Jim Beam that I had on the shelf, and I realized it wasn't open yet. So even better, bonus. But this is a bottle of Jim Beam single barrel, so 95 proof. All right.
Okay.
Oh God.
That was good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was
Thank
actually very
you,
good.
old bottle on the shelf.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll go next. I've got Yellowstone 2021 limited edition. So,
Oh, jealous.
some guy said it was because we got an Amberana finished. I forget, Red Line, I think. And he's like, that's the one they finished in Yellowstone last year. And I'm like, I don't think so. And he's like, yeah, definitely. And then I get here, and now I check, and it is not. It was finished in Amarone cask. So I didn't have it in front of me. You can always be a genius when someone doesn't, when you don't know. He was like, absolutely, of course.
Especially when you're throwing around big words like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Nah, not much there. Cailee clearly has. I'm glad I just used that one there because there's no way I was going to beat what Cailee was throwing out there. So, Tim, what do you got?
It's unfortunately I was looking in the cabinet trying to find something made by Mr. Dalton, and I've already drank it all, so it's all gone.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going with the local favorite here.
This is
it's outstanding. This is a single barrel issued from Copper Fiddle Distillery up here, local to me.
Okay.
Oh,
It sounded like a drop of water coming out of a sink. Yeah.
that was so cute.
Cute as can be. That was the cutest one of the night.
I can't wait to listen to that again.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Well, congratulations on that. That was one of your better cork pops, actually. So good job there.
At least it's audible.
Yeah. All right, Luke, here's where we're at. You're the sitting champion right now, but Cailee had a pretty good cork pop there. What do you got?
I'm going to go with my Antique 107, like Stephanie, and it's halfway done, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Nope.
No, not enough there. Clearly not enough. So,
All right.
yes, congratulations to Cailee. She
Cheers.
gets it. Cheers.
Cheers, Kenny.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about Jerry Dalton and his contributions to American whiskey. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Saying Bourbon Daily?
Yeah.
Okay, you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
No, your name first.
My name?
You know who you are. Yeah.
Hi, this is Jason Souter.
And?
And you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Perfect.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we are talking about Mr. Jerry Dalton.
Yes, we are. So Jerry Dalton, for those of you who don't know, was actually the master distiller at Jim Beam. He had a long career at Jim Beam, but capped it with 9 years as their master distiller. He is not on the side of the bottle. He is not a family member. So if you look closely, it does say Beam family members on the side. So that kind of makes sense why he wouldn't be on there, though ultimately it'd be kind of cool if he was, but he is not. Or maybe they did a special edition every year where he was on there, but he's not. And unfortunately, when he left the industry, he didn't kind of look back. He disappeared and didn't really do any interviews or anything like that. And I think at this point, here we are so many years later, that people kind of forget who he was, which is unfortunate. I mean, he helmed Beam from 2001 to
I was going to ask, when did he?
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
A good 13 years ago was his end, right?
yeah.
That's a lot of whiskey that was probably already drank.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but he did an amazing job, with what he was doing, and I mean these are very much growth years for Jim Beam. I think that's important to remember. He was also a guy who was doing a lot of experiments and things like that. So he was working with alternative grains, and ultimately he didn't even know this. He learned about this. So how I become connected with Jerry Dalton is I'm a fan of Jim Beam, and I had read that he was the master distiller there. And wasn't kind of really recognized or anything. And I tried to find out as much as I could, which wasn't a lot of information out there. So we did a show about him where we kind of put together everything that we knew about him. And one of the things was that he did all this experimenting. And I'm going to pull up. I got a document here that I got them all listed in. But he ultimately came out with a product that because he was pioneering and doing these things with these alternative grains. And here's the ones he was working with: soft red wheat, brown rice, high rye. These are all bourbons, by the way. So secondary grains, we're talking whole rolled oats, triticale, and 6-row barley. So he ultimately is doing these experiments with these things. And again, we think about that now, that's kind of commonplace, but it wasn't when he was doing this, in the early 2000s. And so the fact that he did all these experiments, and ultimately Beam comes out with a product called Signature Series that featured, these things that Jerry had done. He didn't even know it because he didn't even follow the bourbon industry after he left to even know that this product comes out, and what he had worked on and all that. And again, that was, we think of almost all innovation these days comes from craft, from the smaller distilleries doing that. But, Jerry, working for the largest bourbon distillery in the world, is doing those sort of experiments and really helping, shape the industry. And I think it's important to point out something like that. So Jerry really has an incredibly important role. You think, helming Jim Beam for 9 years, that's a big deal. A long career in Beam before that. This working with Booker No, that's going to put you on a pedestal too, in my mind. Working with Fred now will put you on a pedestal too, and then ultimately, this product that comes out that he crafted, and that really, with the benefit of hindsight, now we realize how important that was. People looking at alternative grains and ways to make bourbon taste a little bit different. I think it's pretty cool stuff. So. That's what's going on. What do you guys think, or have you heard of Jerry before, or is it just from us, or what do you know about Jerry?
I will say the first time I heard about Jerry was tonight when I, when you sent me the show notes.
Well,
yeah.
Hopefully it was before tonight. I mean, you were doing.
Well, yeah. No, it was this afternoon.
Okay. Fair enough. And I was late getting the show notes out. I was working on them, I don't know, like 5 a.m. or something. And I get a text from Luke, "Where's the show notes?" And I was like, I'm actually doing it right now. That's how behind I was. So yeah, it happens.
Well, first of all, I remember your podcast when you featured his story.
Mm-hmm.
And subsequently, I've kind of did a little research on myself. But you've summarized pretty much everything he's done. But I think for me, he was the bridge that kept it together in a very challenging time when bourbon was still trying to find themselves after going down, and and Fred No not being ready to take on the role, Jerry was that the glue that kept everything together, and he sprinkled it with the craft series, and
here's what saddens me about the whole thing
Yeah.
is Beam is the largest bourbon distillery in the world, and certainly they have the most pull. As such, in an organization that they would have the most pull out of anybody. And Jerry's not in the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. I don't understand how that can be. It's not right. It's so it is something that we're going to work on. One of the things that I'm announcing today, and of course Jerry, he never did any interviews. Ultimately, he reads or listens to that show that we had done, and he comes on. He does a bourbon show episode with us, and even met with Royce Neely and I. We went down and met with him, and he helped out Royce a lot when Royce was getting started. Working his own yeast and how to propagate it and all that stuff. Gave him a lot of tips and things like that to help get him on track, which was very nice. And of course, at that time, Jerry was taking care of his wife, who was battling dementia. That's very difficult on a family. He was her sole caretaker. He watched her to be able to go out to lunch with us, where we could, spend some time talking to him. It involved Jerry's daughter had to come over to the house and stay with his wife, and we had to go near the house. It couldn't be like, oh, we'll go across town. We had to go to the closest restaurant, which was like a Shoney's Big Boy. But we had to do that because he couldn't leave that far because he knew he had a limited amount of time because he had to lean on others. So just a great man. And ultimately, and very unfortunately, his wife passed away recently. And I've been in contact with Jerry again, and I told him I want to make this push to get you into the Hall of Fame, and I have no control over that. And maybe and probably the powers that be don't care what I have to say and don't really think about it all. But ultimately, bourbon is ours as fans. And I'm talking about me not being a podcast or anything like that. I'm just a bourbon fan. And that's the reason why I podcast. And I think that as bourbon fans, we should have a say in the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. And I just want to help out Jerry and get the word out and do a campaign. And I don't know whether that helps or not, but we're not only going to talk about this, but what I'm excited to announce that as we record this Friday night, in a couple days on Sunday, I'm going to be going to Jerry's house, and we're filming a documentary about Jerry Dalton. And we're going to interview him, and we're going to talk to him about his career and make sure that everyone knows about all these things that he did, his contributions to the world of bourbon and American whiskey, and talk to him. And then we're going to talk to other people who are his contemporaries. And of course, you're talking about a time now where we're losing a lot of those individuals that worked with Jerry, and that's a sad situation too. But it's also one of the things that pushes me to do this is the fact that Jerry's in his 80s, and I want to get this recognition for him because he deserves it, not because of anything that I'm doing. I want to get him the recognition that he deserves. And, you want to do it while he's alive, while he can enjoy it. I hate the idea of letting things sit around and maybe, 5 years, 10 years after he's gone, someone will be like, he really deserved to be in there. Why didn't we put him in there? Put him in now. Put him in now where he can enjoy it with his family and his kids and, and celebrate that. So
and be there to accept it,
Yeah. That would be very, very cool. So that's definitely one of my exciting announcements today. And then the other one is Jerry has, in doing some self-reflection and things like that, now he has, something that he didn't have before, some time and things like that. And he'd like to get involved a little bit in the distilling industry. So he wants to do some consulting work and things like that. So hopefully, if you're listening, you own a distillery and you just want to talk to one of the all-time legends who has this great knowledge, and working, with a science mind. That was one of the things that, Jerry brought to the table, this, chemist background and the ability to, he's certainly good at the art of making whiskey, but the science is what really got him going. So, and he's able to do that. So, and I want to help him with that too. If there's anything we can do to help promote that or just create awareness about what he's doing. And he's talking about doing a Zoom thing. He's, unfortunately he's at a time where mobility is an issue. He walks with a walker, so he doesn't want to go and be climbing, as he said, climbing around just stills and stuff like that. But, with Zoom and those FaceTimes and those type of things, he can, it's almost like you're there. So, so it's exciting to know that he might be back involved in the world of bourbon a little bit. So cool.
You gotta believe that there's some knowledge that he has coming from a heritage facility, that he did such mass production, but yet he zeroed in on a craft line that was, probably unheard of at the time. And so that knowledge he has, someone needs to really tap into it and get it out of him.
Yeah.
Look, you make a great point, because when Fred released that Harvest collection out, the Signature Series in 2014, each of those bottles, each of those barrels of whiskey that he created, that Jerry put down, was 11 years old.
Right.
If he released that, if Beam or anybody released something like this right now, can you imagine what that would be like right now?
Yeah.
He 11 years of a vision to see, listen, I'm going to go play and tinker with this stuff. So it amazes me. So Christy, one of our friends of the ABV network, Kevin Rose, who has some other things that's out there, he put out there at one point in time that Christy was trying to gather some feedback for Dad and so then. So I wrote an email to Christy, and I don't have any of that stuff left because it was that damn good. Well, it may not have been favored in the community because it wasn't standard bourbon that you would know at that time. I could only imagine what it was like being with Judy and Jerry and Annis and Booker at the family barbecues and those things right there here, because he was so close with them. And then I'd love to hear what Jerry would say of his side of the stories of Country Ham or Beaten Biscuits or some of the
all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to hear what he has to say about that and some of the other things that are there that goes on. It's a shame that he hasn't been thought of or preserved, because if you think when Booker passes, Fred wasn't ready. Talk about probably the perfect personality to keep things going until it was time, and then it continues on. But that time was a while to keep that place going, and to have the innovation, or if you want to call it the inquisitiveness and drive to put something down like that and take the guts on that. Talk about thriving with the American spirit. I've been humbled talking, just doing the research on it and remembering that time. And then Steve, hearing what you're doing, I'm talking, this is total fanboy talking here. It's just nice seeing folks that have put that ding in the universe that haven't gotten the credit where credit's due, or at least just somebody knowing about it and somebody talking about it.
Yeah. Like I said, I have no say in this thing. I don't get a vote in the Hall of Fame. I don't get to nominate anyone for the Hall of Fame. We may put this out there and no one even cares, and in terms of people that make those decisions, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing this for you, the listeners, the people who are listening to this show. This is being put together so you know what Jerry Dalton's done and his contributions, and hopefully the people that do make these decisions do watch it as well and do realize, hey, there's an injustice here, and we need to right this. We need to do the right thing. You can never go wrong in life if you just do the right thing, right? And do the right thing would be Jerry Dalton should be recognized by the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and you should be remembered too, Steve. Like, I think your work is so important because I don't think enough people talk about him. Like, if I weren't part of this, I would not know who he is. So I think your work is important. I'm glad you're making a movie about him because his story deserves to be told. And I think it's going to be so good that he's a part of telling his own story, and it's not like, posthumously. So that's going to be so exciting.
I agree. I think you're underselling yourself, Steve. I think you're a fantastic part of the bourbon industry as a whole, and I think that people really do value your opinion. So I wouldn't be scared to bring it up to the powers that be.
Well, we could only hope that the powers to be put him in the Hall of Fame, but just bringing him back into one of the chain links that is the strength of this industry, and attaching him back into it, it'll never be forgotten.
Right.
And so, Steve, yes, it'd be great if he gets in there, but it's even better that you're putting him back where he needs to be, prominent. So,
You're giving him a voice, basically.
Yeah, we're documenting that. It's something that's going to be available for all, and we're just doing it on our own. It's Bo and I, and Susie will help us with, music wise. We'll get some help from her on that, and it's just the three of us doing something to give back. And and like I said, I just want that story to be out there. And again, we can't make the decision whether he goes in the Hall of Fame, but you know what? We can make sure that story is told, and bourbon fans know what's up there. So that's what we're trying to do, and we'll see what happens. I would be delighted if Jerry would make it. That would be nothing really would be better. And again, there's other people I think belong, and I've talked about other people that belong in there before, but this to me is the most pressing one. Let's get Jerry Dalton in there for sure.
Steve, regardless if the powers that be do anything about it for anything that we consider, they shouldn't be in there. You doing this and getting it on the internet, that stuff lives forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
So,
Giving it a voice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know,
All right.
That's awesome.
On that note, we will wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. And Cailee, we're going to start with you. Where can people find you?
You can come catch me out at Leatherwood Distillery, probably drinking at the bar, or on social media at Cailee O. Baker, or at the Bourbon Bakers on Instagram and Cailee Baker on Facebook.
All right. Tim.
you can find me on Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
Luke.
You can find me on Instagram at Santa Fe Boutique Wines and Luke Otero on LinkedIn.
All right. McNew.
On Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, including that interview with Jerry Dalton. You want to hear the Bourbon Show? Search Jerry Dalton's name on our website. It will pop up, and you can listen to that. It's great entertainment, and you really get to hear, what he did, and he shares some good stories too. Again, he was a neighbor of Booker No, so there's some good stuff there, and he talks about that during the interview. All right, McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Hey,
See you
everyone.
later. Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with the national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.